What's up, people? Punch here. So I'm going back to Synthetik 2 because they released an update called Update 16 that did a lot of streamlining of the main menu, and they changed a lot of other things as well, with some additions of items I'll talk about later on in the video. They talk about the main menu first, saying we simplified the menu UI and changed it to use a simple unified tab bar, when beforehand it used to be you could walk around with the pilot that would be able to pilot the Android to go shoot stuff. But they changed that. Now it's just for tabs. So if you want to check out construction, medical, or being able to get the blueprints and checking out the mailbox for whatever daily rewards you have, you could do that by just going down the bottom where it says play, database, world, and upgrades. Going down the patch notes, they talk about loot improvements. The first map now spawns 100% an item in a weapon chest. Co-op now properly spawns bonus item chest per player. 50% chance per player per map for one extra chest. Item rarities are now more randomized and you get higher rarities earlier. Item upgrade shops are now arriving earlier and more consistently. Compared to beforehand where you tried to go into the first level, you didn't really see many chests or items pop up. And even if you did, it was basically the same thing over and over and over again. So now it's more randomized as opposed to before where it would get the same thing probably twice. Like if you got maybe the torch blower or the plasma emitter, because I see that quite a lot when I go into the first level. Other loot improvements, medical shop has been varied changes and improvements, varied other shop improvements, new options have been added including specific synergies with certain weapon types. Choices for non-tinkerer shop are now 2 instead of 3. Most perks which were epic previously are now common. Varied perks have been improved. Medical chest now drops randomly either power rations, healing vial, or morphine. And that's actually the other loot improvements that they added with the first and second levels. They added some new items as well. Ignition core, large area damage, heat ray, self-targeted sun ray, M12 Liquid Grenade, explosive grenade with scaling, and Psyonic Spikes, which I actually did find that you're seeing right now. What happens is when you decide to use it, these spikes will initially pop up with like a purple circle, and then the spike will pop out after that goes off. And that's, I don't know if that's if you get a kill or that's a passive ability. There might be ones that are active, but that was the only one out of the 4 that I was able to find with this specific build using Reverence and the SK9 pistol, which is actually a pistol that came out a couple updates before the 16 update. I think it was like either 14 or 15. But if you do pick up the Psyonic Spikes, it's actually a glove that you get. On the bottom portion of the screen, you see that I have plating, the torch, then the glove, and then the plasma emitter, which is the last item I got. But then I changed that out, I think, for a cursed item later in the specific run. Continuing down the notes, they talk about item upgrade stats display. You can now see in item stats, double occurrence chance, triple occurrence chance, quad occurrence chance, multi-cast chance, free cast chance, and no charges cast chance. And then they show you, like, the different type of items as well, like power, high power, multi-mines, and whichever else you have additionally from when you go to the store. Power scaling pass, we added power scaling to varied action effects, which previously didn't scale, and we added the scaling to the tooltips. Ammo gain to magazine now scales, shield gain now scales, plating now scales, health gain scales, and stacks can potentially scale, will be used more in the near future. Item balancing, Pulsar repeater stacks 10 greater than 20. Shield Dome now stuns enemies within at first, meaning that when you activate it, normally it would just gain you shield. Now it stuns enemies if they're near there. You know, the big dome thing. I can't remember the class. I think it was either Chrono Breacher or something else. It's either one of those classes. Roundhouse Boots cooldown doubled, now deals way more damage. Roundhouse Boots now gives 10% movement speed. Power Array now shoots a cone burst. Crowd Control gear now shoots a volley of grenades. Sidewinder fires 3 missiles with less damage. Hyper Shovel now reduces ability cooldowns by 1 second. Now deals 10% bonus max HP damage. Guardian moved to Lost and Found due to too many summons. Slug Boots damage 8.5 greater than 10x. Fire Prism rework now actually acts like a prism and splits lasers on the target. Bloodbane now causes curse explosions too. Grappling Hook stat buff 2 seconds from 2.5 seconds. Enemy damage range 3 meters from 4 meters. Damage stacks 7 to 8 times. Grappling Hook projectile speed 200% from 250. SIT and Master Key deals more damage. Flare Gun gives a small speed bonus on activation as quality of life. Flare Gun base stats 70% from 80, scaling 0.35 from 0.2. Sticky Bomb cooldown 10 from 5 seconds due to misses from enemies being dead. Sticky Bomb and Healing Drone have no friendly in range pop-up. Magic Mag now reloads up to 30. Scaling now creates ammo for free, now shows a buff. Stun Mines renamed to P7 Concussion Mines. Cooldown increased, now has a fixed 4 constellation. Improved VFX, no longer uses charges. Cryo Turret now has 2 charges. And Disc of Justicia, now damage doubled. Then they talk about global and co-op balancing, which I don't do a whole lot of co-op in this game, actually. I do a lot of escalation level, 200% or maybe even higher as a solo, just because it's fun to do. But co-op balance and global, enemy damage as per player bonus, 5% from 3%. Enemy aiming speed per player, 5% from 0%. Enemy health scaling per player from 55 to 40%. Enemy health scaling per 100% difficulty from 25% to 50%. Enemy base projectile speed multiplier from 55% to 50%. Enemy health is higher in single player and a little bit higher in 2-player high difficulty. Up to 16% lower in 4-player on low difficulty. Enemy damage is reduced overall and enemy projectile speed / reactions are a bit slower. They talk about weapon changes. Seeker Carbine damage 3 from 2.5x. Increased amount of visible weapon perk slots from 7 to 12. H200 Commando damage 1.9x from 1.75. Evo XS damage 115x from 105. C900 Pioneer up gear now increases weapon perk power as it was causing technical issues. Divine Ammo Conversion now works on special and spewer type weapons. Sickle variant now properly uses cooldowns to drop the pickups. Stun Missile Burst stun duration 2 seconds from 3 seconds. Other reduced loop effect in silo floor, varied map fix. Heavy Gunner ramping up change from minus 50% plus 10% fire rate per stack to minus 35% plus 7% fire rate per stack. Snappy movement speed 3 from 3.35. Metal Storm now places 1 on the left and 1 on the right. Data and Blueprint chest. We added a new chest which grants 2 blueprints or 50 data or 80 data. Data per map completed 10 from 25. Data from boss kill removed 20 from 0. It still gains per map change, so minus 5 total. Increased data gain cap overall. Kill FX feedback, added kill oil sparks, added kill metal fragments. Timed oil splats better. Ragdoll chance from 40% to 100%, now only explodes above 2,000 damage. Ragdoll velocity tweaked. Damage numbers ported to the new MSDF text, made more snappy, and Kill XFX improved. UI in co-op, the item bar is now always shown for other players, and that's about all I got right now for when it comes down to the changes there. Enemy composition. Enemy spawner high now spawns 3 different archetype of units, not 4 per map. Medium spawner now only spawns 2 different archetypes, not 3 per map. Low spawners now only spawn 1 enemy archetype. Low spawners no longer spawn special units such as tasers, wheels, etc. These are on medium or big spawners only. When it comes down to bosses, Jet Boss armor 30 from 0. Sawblade now spawns mini Sawblades when one of the 2 is destroyed. Last Defender now has laser beams. Last Defender charge attack fixed / improved. Last Defender missile attack reworked. Last Defender no longer spawns secure bots and lightning wheels. Last Defender now spawns area, denial drones, and pacifiers. Added safeties for Last Defender loot and no longer shows the reward twice, which it seems like Last Defender has a lot more changes than any of the other ones, from the tarantula thing that fires lasers to the bouncing saw blades. Mod.io update. We seemingly updated the U15 mod browser just when a much newer one came out, making the new U15 one instantly very outdated. We added now the latest mod.io browser. There might be some issues with it left as this is quite a big task to integrate. The new UI is easier to customize, and we have committed to sticking and further customize this UI as required and deal with API changes in the future by just fixing the modding backend as needed going forward. So coming down to the mod.io update, they're going to be messing around with that a lot, and I know a lot of people want to mess around with more like mods for the game itself, since I don't remember if Synthetik 1 had the updates or rather mods for that. That might be a different thing altogether, but when it comes down to them fixing it, they're going to be changing it from hopefully U15 to maybe something else when they go to 1.0. And last but not least, they talk about a bunch of fixes. Refactor of weapons into a state machine for better handling of states. Fix that summon upgrades don't work in co-op. Fix varied other pickup and weapon-related co-op issues. Fix an issue where certain effects stacked each map change, like no cooldown chance on unstable current or critical chance on volley system, causing people to reach 100% no cooldown chance and such things. Fix varied quest issues causing problems. Fix pioneer breaking stats. Fix an issue where items disappear when picking up with full inventory. Fix issues regarding minimap. Fix sniper lasers sometimes staying on, which I had an issue when using the recon or sniper class, because whenever you try to use the laser, sometimes it wouldn't actually pop on and your character would walk really slowly, as opposed to the movement speed of going pretty fast. As, you know, normally you play recon, it doesn't really have a dash ability compared to like the Eliminator where you could roll, but rather you can tell when your guy is walking really slowly, because normally when you're using the laser, your guy is just kind of like walking around, as opposed to the normal movement speed for like walking. Fix an issue with invisible enemies due to unreliable packages. Fix an issue with bleeding effects causing enemies to break and bosses to die instantly. Fix an issue where things break when people drop weapons while attachment shops are active. Fixed an issue where weapon switching did not properly reparent actions, leading to many bugs when trading weapons. Fixed depots not being switchable in the mod menu. Fixed double difficulty modifiers. Fixed many issues with U15 menu. Fixed methadone co-op issue / general action ownership issue leading to potentially more bugs. Fix many minor action issues. Fix that WASD controlled menu buttons. Hopefully fixed last defender reward not appearing. Fixed dialogues playing per player. Added fallback for last defender reward next map known for and investigating for next week. Boss sometimes not dropping rewards in co-op. Ability shop not usable in co-op, and many more. And that's all I got right now for when it comes down to the patch notes and everything that came out for U16. But I've been one nut punching. This has been the Synthetik 2 video. Like I said beforehand, whenever I do videos, I like to do them for games I really like. Coming back to Synthetik 2 to check out the update itself, even though it was only just a couple of fixes and the main menu change, it was still pretty nice to check out some of the new items that they added, like the Psyonic Spikes, and some of the other things I probably didn't find until like later on after the recording. But anyway, thanks for watching as per usual. I'll see you in the next one.